Welcome back, friends. Welcome back to yet another session of Thinking and Destiny. We are going in a great way. That is, we are trying to understand like how we can reach to the great way, how the complete triune self can be achieved. So, before we go further, what Percival is giving us, how to reach to this great way, let us meditate on his consciousness for a few minutes and then we can go over. Please. Clasp your hands, cross your legs, and close your eyes. Sit in a meditative posture. Observe your in-breath and out-breath. How vital energy is going inside. And exhale all your negative emotions. We are not alone. We are doer, thinker, and knower. We are the triune self. The whole process of this book, Percival, is bringing us how we can be that complete triune self so that we can reach to that perfect sexless body which can be merged into supreme consciousness or which can become one with the supreme intelligence. Please rub your palms and keep on your eyes for a few seconds and open your eyes with a beautiful smile on your face. Okay. In the last sessions, we are talking about that complete triune self, how that can be formed, how the central canal, the spinal cord, it can go, right? So before I start, I'll just show you some figures and then we can go over because these things I have shown previously, but just letting you know. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, Prasanna.
Okay, here if you see, right, this is the, because I'll just show all the figures so that we can, when you are coming, when I'm coming across, if we can see. So this is the spinal cord, right? So when we are seeing here, they are saying, here the fifth lumbar first, the terminal, and the 12th dorsal, and 7th cervical vertebrae. So these are the ones which he is referring when that the lunar gem is actually ascending, in which places, these are the different places where it will observe. The spinal cord proper reaches from the base of the brain, about the junction of 12th dorsal, and the first vertebrae. Here is the first vertebrae of the 12th junction. It is the prolongation. Downward is called the terminal filament, which is anchored below the coccyx. This spinal cord has a central canal. This spinal cord is a central canal in between, right? The prolongation downwards from the ventricles of the brain below in the embryo. This canal reaches to the end of the terminal filament But in the adult, it usually becomes clogged up with the filament and disappears more or less in the run of the human beings. So when it reaches here, it disappears, means it goes off. That's what he meant. The spinal cord is divided into 5 sections, that is cervical, dorsal, lumbar vertebrae, and the sarcum and coccyx. This is the last one. Bony processes and the shape of the vertebrae is openings of both the sides, which passes the spinal nerves, neck, trunk, and upper lower estimates. So here, the first one, the lunar gem is coming here. It should not go and waste here. At the coccyx, it should go back and ascend. So when go back and ascend, and it should reach again to the brain. That's when actually it takes an year time of 13 lunar cycles it will take. So and then when it reaches again back to that thing, right? So then actually the entire thing you will be getting into that. So here just now the Srishakar is questioning how we can actually process, what is the process that it can go back. So this is all the physical thing that it has shown, right? So there are some hatha yogas and all the things people will do with will do on the thing. It is not the one, but Hatha Yoga is not always the thing, right? Even Kundalini can be opened with the Hatha Yoga, but that time, without having that kind of a knowledge, if it is opening, or without kind of the knowledge, if you are just holding up and then doing it also, it may or may not be helping as a physical. So it has to go back, it has to be having that kind of understanding. So how we can do with the thinking, we will see today's class. Here they have given the parts of the lunar gem and the solar gem in the ordinary human being. He has given, you can see, the lunar gem, once a month, a lunar gem is formed in the rear part of the pituitary body. Okay. And descends to the right side along with the trunk of involuntary nervous system and its branches. The solar plexus, to the solar plexus, where they become joined by the right vagus nerves of the voluntary system. Branches of these spectrums are widely distributed over the body cavities, especially over the organs of digestive system, or continue downward to the pelvis until then. As the lunar gem reaches to the lowest point, it crosses over the left side by the coaxial junction in front of the coax, and this ascends the region of the left kidney, but usually drops back the sex organs and is lost. So it has to reach back to the left side. It is descending to the right side. Once it reaches to the lowest point, if it is actually going back and reaching the left kidney, that's where it started ascending. But usually in the physical form, it is coming, it drops back to the sex organs and it is being lost. That's what that's where actually we are all the ordinary human beings are all there. There are only one solar gem for each life. But the solar gem, as far as concerned, there is only one. The ordinary course of the solar gem is once a year in the course of 6 months. It descends from the right region of the pineal body and right hemisphere of the spinal cord to the region of the first lumbar vertebra. Then during the course of the 6 months, after crossing over and ascending in the left hemisphere of the spinal cord, it returns to the head. That is the solar gem. We will go in detail. So these are the one figure I want to show. Of course, here this, if you remember, so this is the pineal cord, pineal body, pineal cord, and overall the thing, right? The third vertical, all this is in the brain actually. This we know, this we don't need it now in today's class. What we need is one more, this is the lines of the thought. This is the one which is important that when we are going to discuss. This is the lines of the thought. On nature side, how it is. On intelligence side, how it is. On nature side, the center is an object of the desire received by the impression of a point. The first one is an object of desire was received to the mind. Okay. The line of the point of the matter, some gray line, it was termed. Aim of the desire. Then you started aiming for that. Aim line A to B. Okay. Standard angle of 30 degrees of the line of the matter. So you started focusing on the this is nature side. Design of the aim, BC, design, standard angle, another 30 degrees, the design started. Then exteriorization of the design, another 30 degrees, it is starting. Okay. What is happening to the intelligence side? Some of the preceding lines, some of all the preceding lines symbolizing the way of the thought is balanced. So here, it is only here. So here it is also the other side. So other side, it started from the down to up, we have to see D to E. experience line, experiencing the line, and the E to F, learning line. From that experience, what is that you are learning? And F to G, balance line, the knowledge from the learning angle of 30 degrees. So here, whatever the nature side is balanced by the intelligence side with the experience. So this thought, we are actually learning it. So the knower is a selfness and I-ness, and thinker is a reasoning and writing, and doer is a desire and feeling. And we have that 7 minds. We are acting usually with the body mind. Now, okay, then my body mind is having mind of feeling, and for the body of the senses, and mind of desire. And then next, if you go to the thinker level, then you will have the mind of reason and mind of righteousness. Then if you go to the further to the knower, mind of selfness and mind of I-ness. So now we are actually here in this only, in connection with the doer body mind, right? Here, being ordinary men, we are all here. So how we can go, because in order to ascend, right? Not that physical lunar gem ascending. So how it can be done? So mind level, how it can be done? Here we will be doing it today. Okay, let's go back. So the embryonic body of the embryonic life of the body, cervical part and the central canal of the spinal cord. Okay, whatever that we met, right? So they met at the seventh cervical vertebra, and by the light jump from the pituitary vertebra. So vertebra, how it is reaching that seventh, that's the light. The first one it is coming is a light jump, which is coming from your pituitary body. It is coming. So that is a solar jump. Solar jump to the lunar gem. So lunar gem when it is done. So that is the one time. One time you will be getting that light, right? The light gem started from the pituitary body, descending to the third and fourth ventricles and the pons and medulla into the central canal of the spinal cord, which runs to the canal. Like I said in the last session, right? So these are all like mostly the science students, they can grasp what all these things. But for now, whatever the figure that we have shown, right? So we can assume that. At that time, the pituitary sends a stream of light thought to the canal, to the pineal body. So the life stream opens to the pineal, and embryonic light body enters into the head of the where it is filled with the light. So that is where the triune self become perfected, sexless, immortal, physical body, which is the end of the great way. So it entered into the great way. That is an end. That's what is happening. So now we will see the way of thinking. In order to go there, the way of thinking. So always the way of thinking, whatever the things that we do, the way of thinking must be honesty and truthfulness. That is the foundation for our progress. Anything you do, honesty and truthfulness. So this will give you your physical, psychic, and mental requirements, and changes your body for the regeneration. So when you do it. So the second of the three ways of the great way is the way of thinking. So it begins with the human run and through the pleasure and pain. Usually the human run starts with the pleasure and pain. So when you achieve something, you may feel the pleasure. When something was lost, you may feel the pain. That is the one. When the doer has reached the saturation point of his experiences, right? Doer has reached, because whatever that you wanted to have, you already have it. Let us take whatever you wanted to buy, the cars, the home, all that when you just reach it, right? So there is some point where everything you have reached, right? So the human action, so he reached that saturation point, the human action and inaction. So he started living one point, that saturation of the thought. It is not that. So saturation means how much is the saturation point? It all depends upon a person to person. Like the some families like Ambani, they may be having 100 cars, still may go for the one car. That's a, if there's some new thing is coming up or new experience, they wanted to have it. And some family, so they maybe want to drive some normal car, then some luxury car, and after that they may say that okay, enough, life is what it is keep on going it. So the saturation point is, there is a no definite point. It is all depends on one's own thinking and one's own experiences. So once he or she reached to that saturation point, so then they will start thinking about why I came to this life, what is the purpose of living, what is there any reason that behind I came here, So why some people are so healthy and why some people are getting diseases? Why some people are so rich and some people are living in poverty? What is its virtues and vices? What is life and death? So this kind of thoughts will start. Okay, he then discovers the what is that futility of the human effort. What is that human is having, like any other plants or animals? Human was given a brain, human was given a thought, and human was given achieve so many things. Why is that the human was so special? What is that the human has to achieve it? That thought will start. So that times dependence, so that way indifference, all the things, right? So he started discovering something within him. So he started feeling some emptiness, even though there is a lot of things in his life. He or she started feeling some emptiness. He started discovering that these possessions are of no worth. These are not worthwhile at all. So there is a mental insight that he made, that human has reached to the saturation of that experiences. That is what I'm saying. How much is that enough? How much is saturation? It all depends. It all depends on your thinking, your experiences, your your previous practices and previous things. All the things, it all depends. So we cannot. Someone who has 100 cars may not be satisfied. Someone who have driven the car, oh, I wanted to have from bicycle to bicycle, and then bike, and then I came to the car, enough. So it all depends on each individual experience. So that feeling of that experience is dependent on the person. Still that feeling and desire is not satisfied, totally not satisfied, but there is a emptiness. They wanted to get something, some different feeling. That emptiness feeling, whatever that they have achieved is not satisfied. They are not feeling that as they have no value to that, right? The drive body mind over the range of things that might satisfy. Then the body mind, still driven by desire, makes the discovery to the doer of the futility of the human effort. Then they started. What is that human? Why it was started? So interior light started giggling. So that light, whatever that light that is there within, right? That started rising. When this thought goes in, your inner light is started lightening up. So men desires are revolving. Whatever the desires are, they are revolving. They are. So you feel that whenever you go inside, you see that all these desires appearing, disappearing. Sometimes I want it, sometimes I don't want it. All these, whatever that, because these are all the toys. Like a kid has a different toys, right? So after some time, that the kid won't play the toys. It won't. The kid don't feel interest in the toys. So similarly for us, all these external possessions are the toys. Now you lost that interest in that toys. That's what. So you start the type of that the types are. There are four generals: food, possessions, fame, power, sex. So all these desires you have done and dusted, and you are those things are not getting satisfied you. Then the feeling and desire, which will never satisfy. So of course these, you will also understand that the feeling and desire will never satisfy. It keeps on going. This goes to the level of the feeling, level of that you want to seek something else. That's where your wiggling starts. Your going inside will start. So the discovery of the castles, playgrounds, workshops, world breakdowns, all will disappear. So all will disappear. All this will have no value to you. You are not feeling any value to all these things. So you started discovering of the futility of the human efforts. Why this emptiness is within me? All these things are also there with me, right? So you find that such of what is to fulfill that emptiness you find. So you hear and you read the flash within. So you started going to your consciousness the way you wanted to find. You are going inside your consciousness. This distinct understanding is a choice. Again, these lights will flash for every one of us. So it is a choice that one has to go into that path. So everyone will get this choice and will fall back. So when you are falling back, if you can pull up and again go back, then this is the choice that you will consciously you should make to go in this path. Are we not making a choice to go to the worldly path consciously? We want that car, we want this home, we want this to be happen in this way. We are taking so many decisions consciously. So then only we are able to go and achieve that. Similarly, here also you need to go to this path, you go to the inner light, you have to go to that in the conscious way. The true way that lies behind, beyond the human events, the true way is beyond the human events. It's not that outward desires. So you need to find out that purpose of living, the true way, the feeling and mind, the desire mind, what is that, right? So that light of intelligence, you need to go inside and find that what is that light of intelligence is trying to tell you. The ordinary man feeling started by the nature, influenced by the desires, because that is what for all of us, we are influenced by the nature and influenced by our desires. These compels rightness, which starts with the reasoning. These compels. So what, all the things, right? Why I'm achieving something, my inner is going to the somewhere else. So this is suppressing, that rightness and reasoning is suppressing. But when you reach to to that saturation point, then the desire. So you are reaching from the doer to the thinker. Then the light follows. The light is reserved. That is there, right? The knower, no, put a flashlight on your thinker side, because you reach to that stage. But these desires, whatever the desires, right? Desires that are started by the rightness are acting feeling within. So this is a new desire, right? So these new desires should go within. The light of the selfness sends to the rightness rules and desires, which causes the feelings to appeal the reasons. So when it is sending inside, right, that feelings, whatever that feeling, what is the purpose and all those things, it appeals there should be some kind of reason, right? So you are going in that direction. I want to know what happened after the death. I want to know why the different people are having a different riches and different poor people different. So you started thinking about all these things and you will try to understand. So there is a reason goes to I-ness. So from there you will go to the I-ness. I-ness is the knower, light. And I-ness causes the light to the righteousness. So this is what will appear. This government, there is a government within. So you are going to the, instead of going the outside, you are going to that government within, that which is running the human beings. That's where we are going in. We will go in the path of the great way. When you are reaching to the great way, all these thoughts will run. The human then lives and works by the light within. So then he started living and working the light within, the intuition that is coming from within, not the outside desires. Whatever the intuition that within it is coming, then human starts living with it. He does not get the light, which is the direct light from his knower. He will not continuously will not get the light. He has to, it flashes the light, but continuously he should make an effort. He should make an effort to catch that right, to comply and get the requirements and illuminate with that right. Then he finds his way. When you catch that light and try to go put all your efforts, you will, the great way will open. The period from the time when the human first discovers what is this human effort to the world that he enters in the great way, there are many changes. So when he started doing, there will be many changes in his life also. His occupation may change, his associations may change, his friends may change. So the way that he lives before may change, because he started thinking, what is the purpose, why I came to this world, all these things, right? So in this process, when he is going in this line, when this process, right, he saves this 13 lunar gems, because he was too deep into these things, right? Automatically, because when you started thinking what is the purpose and what is the thing, that when you are going, so you are always giving the light to your thoughts, and so it will not get wasted. It will automatically ascend. It will automatically ascend to your left side, the lunar gems, right? So in this process you will be able to achieve the 13 lunar gems, accumulate these lunar gems without wasting. It reaches. So there may be a many re-existence of the doer after the choice is made, even after you choice made, right? So there may be many re-existence will happen. You've already made a choice, but in this lifetime itself, you may not accumulate, you may not go, but there could be the many re-existence. But whatever the knowledge that you learned about this yourself, and this will continue. And next lifetime, what he is saying is, next lifetime when you may go to the quicker to that stage, whatever the stage that you left in that lifetime. The human may be, he may fall off with the environment from the great way. He may be in the vast city or a small town. Sometimes he may fall back. Or you may be, your occupation may be a butcher or a jail guard or a party politician, or he may acquire all sides of acquaintances, associations, and friends. His family ties may be loose or close or a loose. So your family ties also, not only when you started thinking, not only your associations will change, your occupation may change, and also your family ties will also close or loose. These and his possessions may be great or small. You may be feeling that they are of no value. That will also change your. This is not easy to. You are unconcerned about duties. This is not, again, he is warning. This is not saying that you are unconcerned about your duties. You still are doing your duties, which these connections impose on him. Well, that means he must not be attached by liking and disliking. When you are still in that, and you are still doing your duties, but only thing is, when you are started thinking like what is the human purpose and what is the purpose of life and all, then you should not stop liking and disliking on the things. You should just start doing it. Once surroundings, his work and his ties will change naturally. So your ties will change naturally. It is not that you have to forcibly release your things. When you start thinking in these lines, all the things will happen naturally. It is not for him to decide for these changes and move by his own efforts and present conditions. If you start thinking in that direction, if you are thinking in that ascending direction, all these things are actually changing in your life. He must wait until opportunities are the change present in your life. So when you start thinking in this way, you must also wait for the change that is presenting in your life. You should not leave your family, leave your thing and go away somewhere because I got that, I want the purpose of life. That is not the question. You need to fulfill, because those things are also came. He says that friendships, family, relationship, whatever, right? Marriage, position, your position also, your positions are also came with some purpose in your life. In your life, if they come, means they have some purpose. It is not that they just came and you can just throw all of them and go somewhere and then start finding a searching within you. No, all these have a purpose. Ties cannot be broken. Do not break that. They must worn out. They must fall away themselves. So all your tiles, they must worn out and fall away. Even the positions should not be done away. You should not be get rid of them. Whatever the positions, one has them the purpose. If you have that position, means you have some purpose. So those position also will naturally disappear. In the way as you think in advance, as you are going in advance, these things will naturally go and disappear. Which world can distinguish from the run of the human beings who made the great discovery, and he made the choice of inward life? When you made a choice of inward life, and you want to go inside and want to listen to the voice of your inner, then all these things will automatically go away. As he progresses by thinking and leading the life, as you progress by thinking and leading your life, his body will change. He will gradually retire from the world. He will gradually retire from the world inconsequently, without attracting any attention. He will not get any attention. He will just naturally will retire from this world. No standard outward things. The scenery in which he lives, there are standards in which he has attained his psychic nature, in his mental set activities and the physical makeup before he can enter into the great way. So all these physical psychic things, he will change, he will go before he enter into that great way, because his thinking changed, he naturally returned from this world and go enter into this great way. The stages through which the one passes before reaches this physical psychic standard of to enter the great way, it varies from person to person. One person may easily enter, one person may have to have the so many struggle, depends on their experience. And all. Suppose if you say Ramakrishna when Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Paramasa touches Vivekananda, he just got into that enlightenment. The reason is he already traveled so much. Only at the last stage he took another birth. So just like that, whenever that Guru, the thing touches, he enlightened and he went. He started going to that great way, right? So he went on. So that's why he is able to give the very great teachings in the at an young age, right? At an young age, in the sense that last stage before he entered into the great way, he is able to enter because he already made his ground in the previous birth. Honesty and truthfulness must be the foundation of your character. Anybody's character, the honesty and truthfulness is unequivocal. Feeling and desire must do things to see they are. Your feeling and desire should see things that they are. So your preferences, your prejudices will unseat his judgment. You should not have. So your judgment will start, or your preference will start, or the prejudice will start on somebody. So all these things should unlead. So they should go away, and your path should be steady. The standard for his psychic nature is that feeling and desire are in agreement with the gain of the great way. Above all things, ordinary feeling and desire are not in agreement. Before they are in agreement, he has to go long way. He has to go long way. Many things will happen. Once you decided starting my purpose and all, many things will happen. You have to go discover your way, discover the light within, and then the saturation point, when it reaches, it seizes all your external wishes. Then you will climb this light. The saturation is a saturation with the world. What is saturation? Saturation with this world. Many times you came into this world, you have experienced many things in this lifetime in the world, and you possess so many things. So at one point you will reach to that saturation. It chokes your feelings. So what is this nonsense that every time that I'm doing, right? So that is a saturation. Then it turns into towards the inward life, and now the new realms of experience are opened. Once you started going into the inward life, new realms have been opened, new objects are to be attained. The cloud feelings and desires go into the new realms, and they find the objects that saturation ceases. The feelings and desire have not overcome the old things. They are not overcome the old things. They are slaves of the nature. The feelings and desire, they go away. Those feelings and desires go away, outward go away, when you started turn your life into the inward life. So they will become the slaves of you with the inward life. So although the slaves who demand their freedom, but they became the slaves of the nature. So now when you go to the inward, so they are the slaves of that inward, but they desire the freedom. The old things have renewed attractions, and new attractions came. New attractions because old ones are over now. You reach the new point of view, the greater way. You are not an ordinary person. You are actually going inward. The nature pull became less. The nature pull became less. The inner light pull became more. It is becoming stronger. So when the inner light became more and it becoming stronger, the light that is focusing inward, the flash is also becoming more on this ordinary person. When the light is, so this is the time where this ordinary person should completely turn from outward to inward and grab that light, so that you can enter into the great way. The psychic standard requires a certain moral qualifications you require. That righteousness of your mental part as a thinker, that should be there. Gratitude practice should be there. So you should leave your malice, hatred, envy, anger, wickedness, jealousy, meanness, greed, fretfulness, listlessness, gloom, despondency, discontent, fear, cowardness, all these things. See how many qualities. So all these things you need to, these should become the strangers to you. All these qualities should become the strangers. You should leave all these things, become, you should not, you should extrangulate all these things. So they are again occasional visitors to you, but still you should be in control and you should focus your light inward. So returning to them is a natural to him, but returning back, you should do it in a back to the inward light. You should do it in a very consciously. You should do it. So the psychic. So and he is also saying that the four senses, that whatever the outward things, right? You should not so compelled to go inward, like fastings. You should not what do you say? You should not torture your physical body also. You should take the food which is sufficient. You should not torture, or you should not overeat and torture the body. You should not undereat and torture, or you should not overeat and torture. So these are the things. The mental standards once reached, right, before you can enter. So you need to reach to that mental standard before you reach to the mentally to this thinking nature. So your quality of dishonesty or untruthfulness should go, should deficit. So you should leave all of them. Your hypocrisy, your pride, your vanity, your arrogance must be your strangers. They should not be there within you. You must be honest to yourself. You must be self-restrained, self-contained, and self-modest within you. Then his mental attitude with the present friendliness generally, right? So you will be ready to enter this. The next one is you will ready to receive the light, and when you are ready to receive the light, right, with this mental set will be go one point towards the great way, one point towards the great way, and you are actually trying to enter into the great way. The standard for the body is preserved, the physical body. So when you are doing all these things, the standard for the body is preserved. The gems of the 13 lunar months, ordinary nerve matter cannot hold a lunar gem much. Ordinary matter, more than a month, ordinary matter, ordinary physical body cannot hold it. To preserve these 13 new special finer fold 4 nervous structure, you should have to be grown within old. It is not a physical old. You should grow within old. Your thinking, your this thing, you should grow old. The malice and tears, hatred, wishes, all these things should go. Anger, jealousy, all these things will, if you consume it, then this lunar gem will not be able to do that. Fear paralyzes these lunar gems, and it will not be able to save it. So when you are in gratitude, this light also leaves. So you will be kept in the ignorance only. The body must be healthy and strong. So while you are doing it, again he's saying the body must be healthy and strong. You cannot say that the body, I will keep fasting, I will go somewhere in the things and I don't eat all the things. No, any food will, if it supplies to the body, will be healthy. So you should supply the foods to the body in such a way that the body will maintain its health. Body will not overwork in order to digest those things, right? So that kind of body, the beverages should be such a way that it will level, it will balance your body. You should not put all nonsense beverages into your body. The body must not sleep too much. The body must not sleep too little. The beverages should be free from alcohol. It must not be abused by fasting. The body should not be abused by fasting. It should not be given any discomfort with asceticism. With all the rituals, you should not give. Torturing the flesh will not bring anyone to the great way. If you are torturing your body, it will not bring you to the great way. The body must kept healthy and strong. And all this is necessary. That is study living, simple simple life. Simple life you should try to live, which is your feeling should not be governed by the outside nature. Okay, your feeling should be governed by inside the thing. During the thinking, the living and striving with the special preparation of the entrance. So while you are living, you should be prepare yourself, special preparation you should make to go to that great way. So when you are living, so when you are all doing the simple way and are not living the outward, then you can end. The thymus gland becomes active. Then this thymus gland become active and works with the thyroid gland. The gut will be less, the gut will not have the sewage, less sewage it will have. The stomach and all those things will become less, will become smaller and smaller, because they don't, you don't need much, so you are not actually pushing much through, so it becomes smaller. So you are regulating your lunar gems. You are gradually you are strengthening them. You are collecting them to inner nervous. Inner nervous. The involuntary nervous are the digestive system begin to form a structure which eventually will be similar to that of voluntary nervous system. Okay, the length of the time is taken to discovery that world has been. So this, the length of the time that it reaches or it discovers is a countless number of years. You never know. Depend, each soul will be taking the different times. After the discovery, the choice for an inward life, there is usually a study process for a time. Then the world, which is a nature, exercise the pull effectively, because some of the thoughts which have not balanced. The human may get discouraged and fall back to the world. See, that the human, because when you are doing, everybody, what are you doing? So come back to the world. So the people may say that people may discourage you and they may pull back to the world. So you may fall back from inner world to the outer world again. So sometimes in this falling back and going and forth, the death may intervene in between the things. So death may come up. So you may have to reborn again. When you are reborn again with this kind of intentions, when you are there, right? In the next life, you all these things that are not going to the outward, now all those things you will not feel so distinct. You feel that familiar things, you are not get attracted to the worldly things. You are all automatically get attracted to the inner life, right? It won't be strange. You feel that it is very, you know, that this kind of things, right? The way perhaps it start beginning, so you won't feel that emptiness that you felt in the previous life, right? That emptiness feeling will not be there. The choice of the road is clear. Whatever the way that you are feeling, that inner word inwards that you want to travel, right, that will be clear. You discover the path of this great way, and you feel you will take the choice of going into that. So from the beginning, so when the death intervenes, and when you go to, that's what I gave an example of Vivekananda, right? When something might have intervened, when he comes, the path is so clear to him. So you are a light bearer because you are already absorbed some light. You are the light bearer because you already collected the lunar gems, but back and forth you went, but because of that, it happened. But next life, you will, just like that, you will connect these lunar gems, and you will merge these lunar gems into the solar gems, and you will become the torch bearer, you will become the light bearer, you are that filament. You are actually glowing up. In this way, by thinking, you can enter into that great way. That's what the section 3 of the great way is talking about. I will stop here because there is another program, it seems, today. So I'll stop here.